So I have two things here. I have JB's wet weld, which has this little stamp here. It says NSF. Yeah, NSF. Which means that it is safe for to put around things that you're going to consume, like water. So in this case, there is a leaky water tank, and then I have this little bit here, and what it does is it's going to widen out the hole a little bit on the outer side, so that when you fill it, it has more surface area to grip onto. Or like if you were going to put a screw in something, you can make that wide enough so the screw goes level. So what I have going on here right now, and it has been going on for a while, is the tank down here, the water tank, leaks. And so what I think happened, this is my guess, is when it was made in the factory, they took it and they installed a speaker on the outside of the water tank, and they must have scraped it with a nail or a screw when they were putting in that speaker. And maybe it leaks, maybe it doesn't. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe it doesn't even leak. But the solution back then was what they did is they took some kind of a metal patch, and they physically screwed it in with two screws into the tank. So where those two screws were in the tank, it went all the way through into the tank, and those two screws were leaking. So I don't even know if the scratch is even leaking in the tank, but the patch they put in, because they used two screws to screw it in back in the day, was leaking. So that's why, like, when you're in the boat yards and stuff, people are telling you, like, you better just fix it yourself. It's not only is it cheaper, but you'll know what's going on. So for that water tank leaking, it saturated the floors and the woodwork and everything, and it really destroyed a lot. And there's supposed to be a switch between two water tanks. There's a water tank back here in the stern of the boat, and there's supposed to be a water switch to turn that off, and I don't know if that really works. So the whole time that tank has been leaking, when I had both tanks filled up, this tank back here was just draining right into it, keeping it full, leaving it to continue leaking water out. So it's a two-part epoxy, and we're going to mix it up, and we're going to fill those holes, and it's just going to be like a temporary repair for now, so I can fill up the back water tank eventually and get a full load of water on the boat. But eventually, after I get an engine in here and the mast back up, we need to redo plumbing and either replacing the tanks or getting like the bladders that people talk about, because these tanks are old, and it'd be nice to make sure, you know, just feel that your water is clean, that you could maybe drink it if you needed to. Right now I don't use any of that water for drinking. I'm using all bottled water or gallon water, and I drink off of that, but I will use the other stuff for washing and stuff like that, rinsing things off, fresh water. But it'd be nice to just know that you have more of fresh water that's cleaner on the boat, and then a lot of people will get either some kind of purification system, tap water purification for drinking, or UV cleaning. There's all kinds of channels to talk about it, and I haven't gotten that far yet. So that's what I'm going to try to do is just get that tank patched for now, so that I can fill up the tanks, and then I'll have full tanks of water on board if I need them. So let me get that going. So you can see the crack there, and you can see the holes from the two screws that the water's coming out of. So I'm going to enlarge those holes a little bit and try to get them tapered so there's a little more room to grab a hold of. Kind of help clean it out a little bit too. It's kind of a bad angle. It's not really straight ahead. Well, it did give it a little more room to grip there onto the tank. So it's a little wider at this end, so it will have more to grip, so it won't just pop right out. Scrubbing it up right now with a wire brush. Just trying to get anything that's not supposed to really be in there and make sure that holds and nothing gets contaminated. You'd think it would stick pretty good. I mean, it's very hard to tell if that crack goes all the way through or not. It might not go all the way through, and they just kind of really messed this up. So this is the bench in question. There is where the speaker was, and that's the water tank. So here's our putty. And if you open it up, it's a tube. And when you pull off the cap here, it appears to be two different colors. So once you separate it, you mix those two colors together and then it will seal up. And it says that it takes an hour to seal and that it will even seal underwater or cure. So we're just going to take a little bit and hopefully that'll be enough. You can always add more to it. Put our little cap back on. Seal it up so maybe we can use it again later on. Or if I need more, I can just use a little bit more. It says just to keep squishing it together and just getting it good and mixed up until it's all the same color. Even with the lights, it's kind of hard to tell like how well it's mixed. We're going to keep on going for a little while. It's getting tacky. You can feel it sticking to the gloves more and more. I think I got it good mixed up. Yeah, it's almost sticking more. Maybe I can use that knife to smear it in there. But we got a big hole right there. It's our first hole. That was our other hole right there. So we shove it in there. And then this crack. And I try to get as much of the old, any kind of the old sealant out of there. Okay, I should have maybe got one of the putty things too to kind of smear on there, but it's definitely feel it going. I'm gonna use this knife and smear it. And I'm just kind of just laying it thick over everything so it's not going to hurt it. Don't have to be pretty and smooth. And that's it. So hopefully you got that. So I just kind of shoved it to where the holes were and tried to shove it into the hole. And we drilled those holes out a little wider so there's more area for it to catch. And then we filled in the crack and it's right over everything. So hopefully in an hour that problem will be fixed and we can actually fill it with water and not worry about it. Okay, it seems like it has dried successfully. I haven't got the water level above that first screw hole to see if it's going to leak with this patch, but as far as I can tell it shouldn't. So over the next few days I'm going to try to get that water level high enough to test it and then just continue filling up those tanks as I can. I don't know why this thing goes on power save mode. It drives me crazy. Alright, So if you like my content, hit subscribe, hit like, ring that bell, comment. If you own a boat, let me know what works good for you. I am thinking about maybe going electric engine. If you like my content and you want to watch more, YouTube is suggesting a video for you right over here. So click like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.